Welcome to ESM 101, Adobe Premiere Basics. This tutorial covers the basics of Adobe Premiere Pro to help you edit your recorded footage. When you open a new project in Premiere, the first thing you'll see is the import area. This is where you'll bring in your video, audio, and other media files. You can use the buttons to choose files or simply drag and drop them into the project panel. This will bring your OBS recordings, music, or voiceovers into the project so you can start working with them. When you drag your first video clip onto the timeline, Premiere will automatically match the project settings to that clip. This means if you record it in 720p at 30 frames per second, your project will also be set to 720p at 30 frames per second. If you record it in 1080p at 60, it will match those settings instead. It's important to know this because your export settings will default to the same shape and frame rate as the footage you recorded. If you want to change it, you can right-click the sequence in the project panel and adjust the sequence settings manually. Once your footage is in the project panel, drag it down into the timeline. The timeline is where all your editing happens. Each track represents a layer: video on top, audio on the bottom. You can stack multiple video and audio clips to build your project. To trim your video, you can use the razor tool to cut a clip into pieces. Place the razor where you want to split and the clip will be cut. You can then delete or rearrange the pieces. You can also use the selection tool or red arrow to grab the edge of a clip and drag it shorter. This is useful for quick adjustments without making multiple cuts. The selection tool also acts as your move tool. With it, you can click and drag clips to different spots in the timeline, or move them up and down between tracks. This is the main way to rearrange your footage as you build your edit. The Ripple Edit tool lets you shorten or extend a clip while automatically shifting everything else in the timeline to close the gap. This saves time when you're tightening up a video because you don't need to manually drag other clips to fill the space. Premiere has a number of built-in transitions. The most common is the cross dissolve, which creates a smooth fade between two clips. To add it, open the effects panel, search for cross dissolve, and drag it onto the cut between two clips. You can adjust the length of the transition by dragging its edges in the timeline. The same process works for audio transitions, such as constant power, to make sound blend smoothly. When your project is ready to go, switch over to the export area. Here, you will see your entire sequence ready for export. On the left, you can choose a format. H.264 is the most common, since it creates an MP4 file that's easy to upload. On the right, you'll see options for preset outputs, like YouTube at 1080p. Premiere will automatically use the resolution and frame rate of your project, which is based on how you recorded your footage. So, if you recorded at 720p, your export will default to 720p. Double check your export range so you're not including blank space at the end of the timeline. Once you're ready, choose your file name and save location, and click Export. Those are the basics of editing with Adobe Premiere Pro. If you have any further questions, please leave them in the comments section below.